So, I know I did some commentary on on that one Twitter thread, right? I know I did, right? But I kept digging and I found a video within a video actually of this one woman talking about the Twitter thread again, and a thought hit me. A thought hit me, right? And that thought that hit me was the obviousness the obviousness of men's sexual competition to men, but women just seem blind to it. Now, of course, on the surface, it sounds absurd, right? It's not just that they're blind to it, but you probably don't even understand what I'm saying. I understand. Look at the runtime. We're gonna be here for a minute, right? So, I'm watching this video here, right? And a thought occurred to me. We're talking about this Twitter thread. If for those of you all who don't know, about a little over a month ago, there's a Twitter thread where this one dude said that phase where you start to hate your girlfriend is crazy, something of that nature. And a bunch of other guys joined in and had spread their memes and shared their stories, talked about times where they were having a good day and then their girlfriend called and they were like, they're just miserable. One dude said he started crying because his girlfriend said he was going to come over. All these dudes talking about how they can't leave this one girl until they have another girl set up. Or how they talk about gaslighting women to get them to break up with them. A bunch of, I'm going to be honest with you, kind of sounds like Chads and Tyrones kind of chatting amongst each other about how they've gotten sick of their main woman and are getting ready to go find a side piece. In fact, one tweet I remember, I can't say verbatim, but one I remember was like literally, he was like, I'm just getting ready for her to leave so I can go be with my side chick or something like that. It was of that nature, but I don't remember it specifically. Now, for some odd reason, this blindsided women. And there's this one video clip, right, that sets everything in motion. Is this one right here.
These comments are terrible, but also, you picked him. Abusive men will be kind at first. Once they get comfortable with you, then they will treat you however they want. Why is the focus on women choosing bad partners and not the deadbeat men being bad partners?
My friend, all those entitled nice guys, all of those bitter lonely men, all of those incels, those inkwells, they've been trying to bloody tell you this for years. I personally have been trying to tell young ladies for years that you will be in relationships with men that don't like you. I quite literally have said this in several bloody videos I've made. Bloody hell. I can't. It's like I'm befuddled. I'm befuddled. I'm sitting here like, men have been trying to tell you for years, that nice guy that you friend zoned, who complained about your boyfriend, that you would complain about your boyfriend too, they're trying to tell you for years. For years. And what's interesting to me about that is, despite the fact that men compete with each other sexually in numerous different ways, one of which is the nice guy's attempt to court a woman with his character, with his kindness, his nicety, his passivity, by becoming everything of which a woman says that she desires. Women completely just Control Alt Delete, go into the task manager, stop all processes of their brain to not allow them to recognize that men know that other crappy men exist. We've been trying to stop those men for years. It's like, where have you been? I know exactly where you've been. You've been in the very men's beds we've been trying to stop. And that's what you've been. You've been having children with those men. Oh, I've jumped the gun. I'm sorry, I spoiled it for you guys. So let's go ahead and listen to this video here. Again, it's a part of a compilation. I'm not going through the whole compilation. I just want to focus on this one right here. She shall take us away.
When she keeps reminding you about her birthday and it hits you that you have to buy her a gift. When you have to tell her to dress more modestly, but deep down you're tired of seeing her body because she's not as hot as your new girl. When you cheat on her and she forgives you for the 6th time. Yeah, she sounds like the problem. When she holds your hand in public and you feel like cutting it off. Charming. It's like the more you hate her, the more she loves you back. Let's compare these to some of the women's comments. First night home with our baby born via C-section, our newborn was crying the whole first night. My now ex literally said, if you can't take care of it, then maybe you shouldn't have had a kid. Like we didn't plan for this and have one together.
Now, of course, that man was worthy, was he not? He was worthy of having a lineage, correct? he is a high value male, right? Listen, let's be fair. I'll be a bit charitable, okay? We don't know what the full extent of their relationship is. Shoot, we don't even know the full extent of the relationship of all those Twitter comments that we just watched, right? Who knows? Honestly, most relationships, there's not one innocent, darling snowflake who's just being mistreated by another vile human being of which only wants to see their misery. No, it's two people being assholes to each other. The interesting thing about it all is that men's, I guess, brand of being dickheads is lambasted by, well, everybody, and women's brand of being an asshole is lambasted by me. No, okay, I'm joking. But to be serious, though, it's interesting, right? Because if I were to give just a smidge of empathy to the male comments of Chad and Tyrone's musings of the fact that they can't stand their girlfriends anymore, right? They may not even be Chads or Tyrones, but regardless. It's interesting because we don't take into consideration the extent of which women can be poor relationship partners. And it's entirely possible that the girlfriends that they hate have given lots of reasons. I'm not really justifying staying there to use a woman's body for sex when you dislike her. That is disgusting. The point that I want to highlight, though, is the fact that, honestly, we don't really have a full clear view of what's going on here, just kind of the Cliff's Notes version. So with full understanding that be the case, this is still hilariously egregious. All of the different icks that women have of the most frivolous of things, you would think that that he would have been long since discounted if his opinion of his own child is that. You would think. But of course, no. Because women only get swindled by the greatest of manipulators. They are just they're just Dr. Doom D of just villainy. These guys are the Magnetos of relationship manipulation. They're so great. They're just so powerful in their ability to corrupt the feminine mind. Or is it maybe that they're probably just handsome? Maybe they're probably just avoidant. They're distant. They're bad boys. They're douchebags. They're dickheads. And you think that if you can finally master this male of which doesn't like you, it finally validates you as a person. Honestly, when it comes down to it, these relationships deserve to fail. You have a woman who's chasing after validation, and a man who's eating the woman's soul, I guess, so to speak. Apparently, if we're going to treat them like they're villains, right? Drinking her blood. I guess these men are vampires, right? Right? But you have these awful, bad relationships. That's just two people chasing each other's tail. The truth is, they should fail. And honestly, it's all right that they fail. The problem is not that they fail, right? There's two issues. It's that they fail, and rather than young ladies stopping and saying, okay, I guess the spark je ne sais quoi whirlwind romance is nonsense. Perhaps I need to find someone who's stable and someone who's kind and compassionate. God forbid. Instead, they dislike all men. Instead of stopping and analyzing the patterns and behaviors of the men of which they dated, all of us are trash. If all of those men they picked are trash. The rest of us are discounted. We're not even a part of the running. We're not garbage. We're null and void, bro. Like, we're not even, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, I'm Charmander. She's in Johto, bro. I'm not even a starter. So we're gonna listen to a couple more of these, because it's very pertinent and it's really important. I'm gonna bring it all home. We're gonna listen to a couple, just a little bit more.
Ex told me to just be quiet and watch TV so he could sleep while I was in labor with our daughter. After my second child was born, my ex-husband dropped the car at the hospital so that I could go to the store on my way home from having a baby. When my son was born, it was 36 hours of labor and an emergency C-section at 11 p.m. He left to celebrate and left me alone as a new mom.
I mean, she married that man. That man proposed to her, and she said yes. And I guarantee you, there were no telltale. I mean, he was just perfect. He was the perfect villain. Yeah, she does not know. I don't wish to take care of my children. She doesn't know. I care not for her. Her body is now mine, and I shall use it as I please. Is that what I'm telling you? Like, that's how they like to paint this stuff. And again, that nice guy that you friend zoned, he was telling you your boyfriend was trash, wasn't he? But he was jealous. All the incels, they tell you women will. They did all their experiments, all their Tinder experiments. Tinder online isn't real life. That's what you told them. They told you. It's crazy. They told you. They told you. They kept telling you. I told you that there are crappy, terrible, no good men in relationships. We told you that. And y'all said that we were crazy. We were out of our minds. Now look at you. Quite ironically enough, my perception of women being in bad relationships comes from women complaining about them.
Men could come up with equally degrading stories about women. Women versus men feminism doesn't get us anywhere. You're right. Let's go back to the men's thread. When she says talk to me and you know she's not worth the effort, so you just tell her it's fine. To be honest, this is real. You'll be feeling like your girl is irritating. That's the reason why most of us men cheat in marriages or relationships. Women are boring. Lads are expressing themselves emotionally and the ladies are shooketh. I think we have different ways of expressing ourselves. A man doesn't love a woman more than he loved her the very first time he saw her. With men, love doesn't grow. They only start admiring other things like your cooking skills and perhaps social skills. Just say you're looking for a free cook. My ex-husband used to say, if I have to clean, then what's the point of having you here? When you're trying to hold back the happiness when she's crying because you hurt her. Her tears give you joy because she went through your phone and found out you cheated on her.
So at one point, we just have some men that are just downright sadistic. Now, I know we've been here for a minute just kind of letting her shoot off, and I could respond to some of them, but that's not really the point. We're going to get to the end, because what she says at the end is, dare I would say, well, it's stupid. I can't even make fun of it. It's just dumb.
Men literally act like this and then blame women for not dating them. These comments are terrible, but also, you picked him. Abusive men will be kind at first. Once they get comfortable with you, then they will treat you however they want. Why is the focus on women choosing bad partners and not the deadbeat men being bad partners? TikTok is the reason I left. I learned what emotional abuse was and have been slowly ripping the Band-Aid off since 2020. Men, stop getting mad at us and direct that energy to your male friends and family who do this.
Now, this is one of the dumbest, most nonsensical points ever. First of all, do we not have the meme of the overprotective father, the overprotective brother? Of course we do, because those men, for better or for worse, the overprotective father perhaps was a Chad manipulating and hurting women and doesn't want that to happen to his daughter. He is trying to avoid fate itself. Let's just table that guy. Don't we have overprotective brothers? Again, who probably have done the same thing. Some of them, not at all. And have just heard other males that they don't like mistreating women. You know how many bloody times I've seen my sister try to date some piece of shit, garbage, douchebag, dickhead? Too many is the amount of times. Too bloody many. We know as men. And we dislike those crappy men. And we then try to tell ladies to not date them. We already fight men. Since time immemorial, man has fought man for multiple different reasons. Some on the micro level because they scuffed his shoe. Some on the macro level in warfare. Some more serious. They actually threatened their sister, threatened their friends. Some were bullies, mistreating those weaker than them. We as men know that there's good and that there's evil. But for some ungodly reason, the women of the 21st bloody century do not understand the concept of good and evil. I don't understand how they can't grasp this. Men know that there are crappy other men. We don't have to direct that energy to them. We already do. So let's wrap this up with this one last line here. Well, I've been mostly ranting, but I need to get the bad juju out because I'm really, this video really was just so stupid to me. It's this line here, right?
Men literally act like this and then blame women for not dating them.
Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. I have to reiterate that it would appear that a lot of young ladies just really don't take the time to just understand, differentiate, categorize, and understand men. My dear random commenter, you bloody buffoon, what sense does it make for you to say that the reason why you're alone is because you mistreat women? Hey, dickhead, wouldn't all those men in that thread have to first have a woman of which to mistreat? And they are now talking about how they don't like said woman? In what world are those men the same as the lonely incel out in the bloody wilderness of the internet decrying the fact that he can't have a woman? In what world are these the same man? In what world could they possibly be the same person who will simultaneously say, I am sick of my girlfriend, and then also say, wow, I wish someone would smile at me one of these bloody days? How? How in the flip? And so, this is the stupidity of overgeneralizing and treating men as a class instead of a biological distinction. It's the weakness of feminism. It can't even actually address reality correctly. Because you could have two men on two different spectrums of two different sides. And then somehow interchange whatever you don't like about them in between them as if it's rational, as if it's reasonable. You know, there was this one clip the foreign made in this one long video I do intend on addressing in some capacity. It was goofy. It's called what, the Nigcel to some nonsense pipeline. And he says this right here.
They clamor about the pain from being cloistered in the friend zone and don't realize the harm that the object of affection you were nice to has felt when they find out that the guy that was being nice to them for the past fortnight simply wanted to sleep with them.
Oh, really? See, that's what I'm saying. They will besmirch. They will treat the nice guy. They will treat him with disdain. Everyone takes a nice diarrhea dump on the concept of the nice. He is entitled. He's not actually nice. He just wants sex. He's passive. He's weak. He doesn't have any masculinity. And yet still, the nice guy has identified that the dudes women pick are also pretty crappy. By their own admission, they're pretty crappy. The nice guy did not need to create a phantom in his mind of which to hate. We were provided ample evidence of such from both the original tweet and women talking about their experiences. And yet still, foreign can say this.
The nice guy confuses being meek with being nice and believes the charisma of other men to be thinly veiled avarice to lull their prey into vulnerability. That other competition doesn't view the target of affection the same way the nice guy does, right? The competition for affection probably has a multitude of characteristics and niche interests that maybe you just haven't noticed. It can't be that that guy may just be that gal's type. This guy confuses being meek with being nice and believes the charisma of other men to be thinly veiled avarice to lull their prey into vulnerability.
These comments are terrible, but also, you picked him. Abusive men will be kind at first. Once they get comfortable with you, then they will treat you however they want.
And believes the charisma of other men to be thinly veiled avarice to lull their prey into vulnerability.
Abusive men will be kind at first. Once they get comfortable with you, then they will treat you however they want.
Believes the charisma of other men to be thinly veiled avarice to lull their prey into vulnerability.
Abusive men will be kind at first.
You see, my dear, nice guy, lonely male, incel, forever alone dude, here's what you don't understand. Despite the fact that there is ample evidence of which you probably saw in your personal life, ample evidence of which you have seen on the Twitter thread originally we were commenting on, ample evidence of the young ladies on the internet as well, on TikTok and on Twitter, also complaining about all the negative, bad relationships they had with F-boys and douchebags and dickheads. Despite your entire life of which seeing this, you also identifying, picking out, and noticing it too. My friend, you just made it up. This is some phantom in your mind. And the dude that the woman actually picked might actually be a great guy that she's not complaining about, that she's not upset with, that didn't abandon her and her child. Nay, Inkwell, nice guy, forever alone man who has recognized the patterns of all of these dickheads and of which you tell other people the case. You just bloody made it all up, I guess. I think. Or maybe you just don't have the empathy to see that if a woman picked a dude, it's because, and I quote,
they're right. You're wrong. They're right to not pick you. If they're not picking you, it's because they're right.
So, it does make me wonder. If a woman does pick a man who would look her in the face and tell her that she shouldn't have had his child, can we still conclude that she was right to not pick that Inkwell? I mean, think about it for a second. If she picks one of these Inkwells, right? Like it might be a really boring life. I don't know. The Inkwell might be, I guess, a real misogynistic. It wouldn't be any different than, I guess, this dude also being misogynistic. So apparently, misogyny couldn't even be the very thing of which separates the two of them. Now that I think about it, But if a woman chooses Inkwell, if she chooses a nice guy, if she chooses a forever alone guy, what does she get? She gets a sycophant, right? That quite ironically kind of overvalues women, not really undervalues them. But if she picks the dickhead of which she has chosen, who abandons their child, she gets an ex that abandoned her child. I do wonder, can we still comfortably say that they're right and we're wrong? Could it be possible that maybe we're all wrong? Because I think that might be a little closer to the truth than anything else. Look, in conclusion, ladies, if you've made it this far, I doubt you have. We men know that there are other terrible men, and we fight them. Some propaganda will make up reasons and excuses to go fight them. Sometimes life provides ample reason to fight them. We as men know that there's good and there's evil. There's moral righteousness and there's vices. We know. So you as a young lady, interestingly enough, need to come on our level and understand that there's good and there's bad. And for some odd reason, you guys really like the bad. And it hurts you. It hurts you. But what doesn't help you is getting mad at all of us and pretending we're all the same, even though we as men have come to this conclusion since the time we were friggin' 6 years old, that there are good kids, bad kids, good men, bad men. Even if that is too simplistic, it's a lot better than pretending that there's no difference at all. So that being said, I just hope you guys got something out of today's video, and if you did, I don't know, man, go ahead and click the like button. And shoot, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.